Greek mythology unveils a world where gods walk among mortals, wielding immense power yet driven by human passions and rivalries. With a single whim, these divine beings shape destinies, setting mortals on quests for love, revenge, and honor. Here, Hercules undertakes 12 labors to redeem himself, battling creatures like the Hydra. Odysseus endures a decade-long journey home from Troy, facing sirens, cyclopes, and wrathful gods. Persephone, abducted by Hades, becomes queen of the underworld, embodying life's eternal cycles of death and renewal. Greek myths brim with iconic characters confronting fate and frailty. Achilles, the nearly invincible warrior, falls due to a single flaw. Eros and Psyche reveal that even gods are vulnerable to mistrust, showing that true love demands sacrifice. And Prometheus, punished eternally for giving fire to humanity, illustrates the cost of defiance and compassion. These timeless myths capture the essence of courage, sacrifice, and universal truths. Inspiring art, literature, and culture, Greek mythology's legacy endures, as resonant today as it was millennia ago. The origins. The narrative of Greek mythology begins with chaos, an endless void that held the potential for creation within it. From this primordial state arose the first gods, representing the essential elements of the universe. Gaia, Earth, the personification of Earth, embodying life, growth, and fertility. Tartarus, the abyss, a shadowy, foreboding realm beneath the earth. Tartarus was the deepest part of the underworld, a place where even the most powerful beings could be bound and contained. Eros, love. In the ancient tales, Eros was not merely romantic love, but the cosmic force of attraction, the binding energy of creation, compelling elements to unite and bring forth new life. Erebus, darkness, and Nyx, night. Together, these deities embodied the mysteries of night and the shadows of existence. From their union would spring powerful forces like Thanatos, death, and Hypnos, sleep, agents of life's ultimate rest and restoration. These primordial beings laid the groundwork for everything to come. Gaia, the Earth Mother, brought forth Uranus, the sky, without the aid of a partner, and together they brought forth the first generation of divine beings, the Titans, powerful beings who would go on to shape the destinies of gods and mortals alike. The Cyclopes, one-eyed giants with unparalleled craftsmanship who would eventually forge weapons for the gods. The Hecatonchires, giants with 100 hands symbolizing the chaotic and uncontrollable forces of nature. However, Uranus soon grew fearful of his children's strength, especially the monstrous Cyclopes and Hecatonchires. Unable to bear the thought of their power, Uranus banished them deep within Gaia's womb, causing her great pain and sorrow. Gaia's nurturing essence turned to bitterness and anguish under Uranus's oppressive rule, and she could no longer bear his tyranny. Driven by her anguish, Gaia plotted revenge. In her desperation, Gaia forged a great sickle from the earth itself and approached her youngest son, Cronus, the ambitious and cunning Titan. She entrusted him with the sickle and urged him to strike against his father. Cronus, driven by his own desire for power and liberation, lay in wait, ambushing Uranus and wielding the sickle to castrate him, severing his dominion over the cosmos. As Uranus's blood spilled onto the earth, new beings emerged from his wounds. Among them were the Erinyes, Furies, fierce avengers of wrongdoing, and the giants, whose might would echo through future myths. Uranus, defeated and humiliated, cursed Cronus with his final breath, foretelling that one of Cronus's own children would rise against him, repeating the relentless cycle of betrayal and the inevitable struggle for power. The reign of the Titans. After overthrowing Uranus, Cronus rose as the supreme ruler of the cosmos, inaugurating the Golden Age, a time of peace and prosperity where the earth thrived, free from suffering. Humans lived in harmony with nature, enjoying abundance without laws or punishment. With his sister and queen Rhea, Cronus reigned over the Titans, each embodying a natural force that contributed to the world's perfect balance. Despite the surface peace, CRONUS'S rule was haunted by a dark prophecy. One of his own children was destined to overthrow him, just as he had done to Uranus. Driven by fear, Cronus took brutal measures to avoid his fate. Each time Rhea bore a child, he seized the infant and swallowed it whole, imprisoning them within himself. Rhea, heartbroken and devastated by Cronus's cruelty, watched helplessly as one by one her children vanished into her husband's unyielding maw. Determined to save her youngest child, Rhea sought guidance from Gaia, the ancient earth goddess and mother to all. When Rhea gave birth to her sixth child, Zeus, she put her plan into action. She hid the infant in a secret cave on the rugged island of Crete, far from Cronus's sight and reach. To complete the ruse, she swaddled a stone in cloth and presented it to Cronus, who, in his paranoia, swallowed it without a second thought. Little did he know that his child, destined to change the course of the cosmos, was safe and growing in secret. Raised by nurturing nymphs and nourished by the milk of Amalthea, a divine goat, Zeus grew strong and wise. As he reached adulthood, he became aware of his destiny and the plight of his siblings trapped within Cronus. Seeking wisdom and guidance, Zeus turned to Metis, the goddess of prudence and cunning, who helped him concoct a powerful potion. Disguised and bold, Zeus approached Cronus and managed to trick him into drinking the enchanted potion. Its effects were swift and dramatic. Cronus, seized by agonizing convulsions, was forced to regurgitate each of the gods he had swallowed. Freed at last, Zeus's siblings joined him, each one harboring a desire for retribution and freedom. Together, the siblings declared war on Cronus and the other Titans, sparking the Titanomachy, a cataclysmic 10-year struggle that would reshape the cosmos itself. The Olympians found powerful allies in the Cyclopes, who were grateful for their liberation from Tartarus. In return, they forged extraordinary weapons for the gods, each crafted to embody the wielder's essence. Zeus's thunderbolt, a blazing symbol of his power and authority, capable of splitting the heavens. Poseidon's trident, a mighty weapon that gave him dominion over the seas, allowing him to unleash storms and quakes. Hades's helm of invisibility, a shadowy artifact that rendered him unseen, a critical advantage in battle. The Titans fought back with all their might, wielding primordial strength and rage. But the Olympians, aided by the fierce and towering Hecatonchires, whose 100 hands could hurl boulders with unrelenting fury, gained the upper hand. The battle shook the heavens, the earth, and the sea. Storms raged, mountains crumbled, and rivers boiled as the two factions clashed. After a decade of war and devastation, Zeus and his allies emerged victorious. Cronus and the defeated Titans were cast into the dark, cavernous depths of Tartarus, condemned to eternal suffering under the vigilant guard of the Hecatonchires. Zeus inflicted a unique punishment on Atlas, cursing him to stand at the world's edge, forever bearing the weight of the sky on his shoulders. Only a few Titans escaped Zeus's wrath, among them Themis and her son Prometheus, who had sided with the Olympian gods during the war. In gratitude for their loyalty, they were spared and allowed to live among the gods. With the fall of the Titans, Zeus established a new cosmic order. Alongside his brothers Poseidon and Hades, he divided the realms. Zeus took dominion over the heavens, Poseidon claimed the seas, and Hades assumed rule over the underworld. This shift marked the end of the Titans' reign and the dawn of the Olympian age, a new era in which the 12 gods would govern from Mount Olympus. Prometheus. After the Olympians' victory, while the 12 ruled the world, Prometheus, one of the few Titans spared, remained unsatisfied with his initial creations. Viewing them as little more than mindless creatures, he decided to reshape them, molding the first humans from clay and water in the god's image. Even so, his new creations were still vulnerable. Taking on the role of their protector, Prometheus taught them essential skills like farming and medicine, helping them thrive in a world governed by the gods. However, humans still lacked fire, a privilege reserved for the gods as a symbol of divine power and enlightenment. Convinced that fire was vital for human progress, Prometheus defied Zeus's decree, stealthily stealing a flame from Olympus and bringing it down to earth in a fennel stalk. With this gift, humanity gained warmth, light, and the ability to advance. Upon discovering the theft, Zeus sought retribution, mandating that humans offer sacrifices at every meal and allowing Prometheus to divide each offering. Compassionate toward humanity, Prometheus deceived Zeus by hiding bones under rich fat while concealing the best meat within an unappealing hide. Fooled by this trick, Zeus chose the bones, leaving humans with the finest portions. Enraged, Zeus withdrew fire from humankind, casting them back into darkness. Yet Prometheus, unable to watch his creation suffer, defied Zeus again, restoring fire to humanity. In fury, Zeus ordered a severe punishment for Prometheus. The Titan was chained to a rock in the remote Caucasus Mountains, where each day an eagle would descend to devour his liver. Being immortal, Prometheus's liver would regenerate nightly, ensuring endless torment. Despite his suffering, Prometheus's gift transformed humanity, enabling them to forge tools, cook, and build civilizations, bridging the divide between mortals and the divine. His sacrifice immortalized him as humanity's eternal benefactor. After ages of torment, Hercules, on his own path to redemption, freed Prometheus. His legacy endures as a symbol of defiance, enlightenment, and sacrifice, a testament to the unbreakable spirit that resists oppression and champions the pursuit of knowledge. Pandora's Box. After punishing Prometheus, Zeus turned his wrath toward humanity, who had benefited from the stolen gift of fire. Seeking to impose a lasting punishment, he devised a plan to introduce suffering in a form both beautiful and irresistible. He instructed Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, to create a woman named Pandora, molded from earth and water and endowed with grace and allure. Each god contributed to Pandora's creation by bestowing her with a unique quality. Athena granted her wisdom, Aphrodite beauty, and Hermes charm and cunning. Her name, Pandora, meaning all gifted, reflected these divine endowments. Yet, along with these gifts, the gods instilled in her an insatiable curiosity, a trait they knew would lead to Zeus's desired outcome. When Pandora was complete, Zeus presented her as a gift to Epimetheus, Prometheus's brother. Despite Prometheus's prior warnings to distrust gifts from Zeus, Epimetheus was captivated by Pandora's allure and welcomed her into the world of men. Along with her, she brought a sealed jar, later known as a box, that she was forbidden to open. For a while, Pandora and Epimetheus lived happily, even having a daughter named Pyrrha. Yet Pandora's curiosity about the box lingered. Over time, the urge grew unbearable, until one day she lifted the lid, releasing a shimmering cloud of evils, pain, sorrow, disease, and hardship into the world. In horror, Pandora quickly closed the jar, trapping only one thing inside: hope. Thus, while suffering and misfortune entered human life, hope remained, offering solace in times of despair. Through Pandora, Zeus succeeded in delivering a complex punishment, forever altering humanity's existence with both suffering and the resilience born of divine curiosity. The Great Flood. Humans brought an end to the Golden Age, a time of eternal youth and natural abundance. With the opening of Pandora's box, they lost their immortality on Earth. Humanity then entered the Silver Age, followed by the Bronze Age, periods marked by arrogance and neglect the worship of the gods. As people turned to forging weapons and waging war, they descended into the Iron Age, a time of moral decay, suffering, and conflict. Angered by humanity's wickedness and disrespect, Zeus resolved to cleanse the world. Choosing a flood over fire to protect the heavens, he called upon Poseidon to unleash torrential rains, submerging the earth beneath the waters. Poseidon summoned massive waves and violent currents, making the seas surge beyond their boundaries, flooding coastlines and lowlands. In unison with Zeus, he intensified storms, unleashing relentless rains that swelled rivers and lakes, transforming the land into a vast sea. As the Earthshaker, Poseidon triggered earthquakes that fractured the ground, causing avalanches and landslides that buried remaining shelters. The relentless tides rose higher, until nearly every trace of civilization lay submerged beneath the waters. Only 2 people survived the Great Flood: Deucalion and his wife, Pyrrha. Warned by his father, Prometheus, Deucalion was advised to build a sturdy chest for their survival. For 9 days and nights, they drifted safely on the floodwaters until they finally landed on Mount Parnassus, the only peak untouched by the deluge. Emerging onto dry land, Deucalion and Pyrrha offered sacrifices to Zeus in gratitude for their survival. Moved by their piety and devotion, Zeus granted them a single wish. Deucalion and Pyrrha requested the restoration of humanity, desiring to repopulate the world. Zeus cryptically instructed them to cast the bones of their mother over their shoulders. Interpreting this to mean the stones of Gaia, Mother Earth, they threw stones behind them as they walked. Those cast by Deucalion transformed into men, while those cast by Pyrrha became women. Thus humanity was reborn, stronger and more resilient, carrying the memory of divine wrath and a renewed reverence for the gods.